This your boy EC22, and this is the FairWeather Fan channel, man. Before we go into further, you know what I always say: like, subscribe, share this content, but most of all, man, leave comments because we want you to do what? Join this conversation. We just not gonna be three guys that we're talking to ourselves. We want you to get engaged, and so we can really put you to shame and tell you don't know what you're talking about. No, I'm just playing. No, y'all comments just help us really engage. But hey, D-Way, man, we got a new guy, JP. What's happening, my brother?
How you
What's
guys
going
doing?
on?
Good to
Coach D-Way,
good
what's
to see you.
happening, man?
Man, good. Welcome, JP. That's our buddy from all the way from, I believe, Enid, Oklahoma. But he lives here in the Metroplex now with his wife, and I've gotten to know my wife and I've gotten to know him and his wife. They're awesome people. The onty downside to it is he's a big Oklahoma Sooner guy. So, and we're going to get into that. But JP, welcome to the show, man.
What you mean downside to it? Don't start. Don't you start. There's no downside to nothing now.
JP,
my wife
welcome
is
to the
right
show,
in the
man. welcome, buddy.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Thanks for having me, Coach. Good to see you, Eric. Good
Yes,
to meet
sir.
you, and look forward to whatever nonsense ensues.
Yes. E, if I may, I think we
Go
need
ahead.
to.
Yes, sir.
You know, I know all you fans that are out watching and listening. We're missing our main brother from another mother, J-Dub. For those of you that don't know, J-Dub is my nephew, and most of y'all know because y'all been listening in for years now. And he and his beautiful wife Ashley and 3 kids live in Great Falls, Montana. Even though both of them are from right here in the Metroplex. But I want to give a shout out of love and a little prayer and just a little condolences. J-Dub lost his father-in-law unexpectedly Thursday morning. Now, his father-in-law lives here in the Metroplex. Actually lives west of Fort Worth out in Aledo. He's born and raised in Fort Worth, but they've had a ranch out in Aledo for years. Good man, great man. You won't meet a finer man, just a good man that just loves people and loved his family. I'm of the belief that love God, but has a beautiful family. His wife's of almost 50 years. But man, I just want to shout out to J-Dub and his wife Ashley. That's Ashley's dad who passed, and again, unexpectedly, her dad was in great shape. The young age of 72, working on the ranch, came in, had a cup of coffee, and I guess God wanted him a whole lot more than we wanted him. So love you, J-Dub. Love you, Ashley. Praying for you guys, thinking about you guys, and hope it all goes good in the upcoming days and weeks as you guys get it all figured out. But all good, man.
All right. Father, in the name of Jesus, God, we pray that you will continue to bless Jason's father-in-law and extend his family, his wife, give her peace, and all those in that family, man, in time of bereavement, give him peace, Father God. We ask it all in Jesus' name, oh God.
Amen. Thank you, C.
Yes,
so,
sir.
Yeah,
Yes,
awesome.
sir.
So J-Dub, I'm expecting J-Dub to be back with us next week. So, but we've got our buddy JP sitting in the house for us. So we're all good.
JP, D-Way, take it away.
Oh, man.
The World Series. Let me say this. I don't know because I haven't been watching baseball that long. You know, I'm a fan out of the Rangers, obviously, so that kind of got my attention to it. But from my sister Rangers, that was a good World Series, a good playoff run. But this one right here, this whole series, man, this 7-game series was the best I've seen in a long time. Now, you guys probably been following baseball longer than me. Tell me if I'm right or wrong.
So most of the baseball world, commentators, people that know a whole lot more about it than us guys do, said it was one of the best World Series, not the greatest, but one of the best World Series that they have seen in a long time. And this is what, and I'm going to hear JP's take on it here in just a minute, but this is what J-Dub and I talk about all the time in every sport. EC, this is what you and I talk about all the time in every sport, no matter what the sport is. We want to feel like we've seen the best 2 teams in the entire league playing in the final game.
Facts.
Okay. Be it World Series, be it Final Four, be it the Super Bowl, be it whatever your sport is. And number one, I think we saw the best two teams in America playing the World Series, JP, okay? Number two, I always feel better about it when you feel like the best team won. The best team was the team that actually got the ring, okay? Well, yes, and JP knows this. I was rooting hard for the Toronto Blue Jays.
Oh, shame on yourself. Shame
Okay.
on you.
Because I like a lot of their guys. But in my heart of hearts, I knew who the best team was. And so what a great series. I mean, we had one game go 18 innings. The game 7, what we want to see go in extras. We want to see great plays made in the 9th and 10th and 11th inning. We want to see everything. We want to see home runs. We want to see great pitching. We got to see everything in game 7. So, JP, what's your thought on what are your thoughts on game 7, JP?
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. And quite frankly, I agree. I think it's probably one of the best World Series that I've ever had the opportunity to witness. I would actually love to see all 7 games go extra innings. Quite frankly.
Always.
Yeah, who wouldn't, right?
Yeah.
And I'm with you. I mean, you think about whether it's Major League Baseball and teams that are beginning to build a little bit of a dynasty like the Dodgers are now with back-to-back championships, and you look at like the NFL, like the Patriots, and every time that the Patriots would go to the Super Bowl with Tom Brady, or now perhaps the Dodgers start going to the World Series 4 out of 5 years in a row, I think people start to get, I don't want to say bored or upset by it, but I think that's where a lot of the comments about, well, this, who wants to watch another World Series with the Dodgers, or who wants to watch another Super Bowl with, the New England Patriots. But I'm with you. I think the best 2 teams in baseball had a chance to, have a slugfest for about a week and a half, and it culminated in a game 7, which I didn't have the opportunity to watch game 7 live outside of the last, the 10th and 11th inning, because we were at the Oklahoma-Tennessee game, but it was following it on my phone. And what a finish. What a finish.
Yeah, it's awesome. And the thing I do love about baseball that I don't see in the other sports, I guess you do see it a little bit. Every pitch, especially in game 7, is the end of the world, It's just
it's like watching the last 60 seconds of a Super Bowl that's within one score.
Exactly.
He sees a big hoop guy, and I love that about him. He's a big basketball guy, big college basketball guy, and it's like watching the Final Four in the March Madness. In the last, especially the last 8 or 9 minutes of the game in the second half. Every time down the floor, it's important.
Right.
The game could hinge on one possession. Right. EC, talk to me. What do you think?
Well, I'm gonna go back to what JP said about the dynasty. I know people get bored of the dynasties, right? Because you don't get new fans when you get a dynasty, right? People want to see that new team that they haven't heard of, right? If somebody turn on the TV and say, "Oh snap, the Patriots are winning again. Oh, the Chiefs are winning again. Oh, the Lakers or the Warriors are winning again. Oh my God, the Dodgers are winning again," right? Nobody's gonna watch because like, we've heard that before. I'm gonna do something else in my time, right? But for me, I love to see the dynasty because I'm like, they're showing you how the game is supposed to be played. If you can just assemble a team that's going to get out there every night and show you how to play and play to the highest level and beat everybody, I'm all for it. Now, I know it ain't what the fans want to see. Fans want to see a little drama, but I want to see TV. Now, what I don't want to see is when you got like a Kansas City Chiefs that got in on a wild card and somehow squeaked their way to a Super Bowl. I don't want to see that.
Here you go.
Because all of a sudden, the conspiracy theories out there, all of a sudden, they don't call it a foul, and then Buffalo get kicked out once again by the Kansas City Chiefs. But if they're the best team in that conference, in that division, then yeah, I want them to see go. That's just my 2 cents on.
I love it. So 2 things, JP, I want to ask you. One, my dad loves sports. But the one thing I remember him saying all the time was, this was what my dad said about baseball, and I want to hear it as a former Division I collegiate baseball player. I want to hear your take on this. My dad said that pitching is everything. everything.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a little bit partisan to that because I was a pitcher, so I'd like to believe that we have a little bit more control than some of the others. But if you get a guy, you get a guy on the mound on a good day that just it will absolutely dominate and control the game. So when you and I were going back and forth on all 7 games and say, hey, what do you think tonight? It's the pitching matchups that you look at, right? I mean, for me personally,
and that's what you and I were talking about. We were going, JP and I were talking about, man, well, they got Blake Snell going tonight. Well, I mean, I don't know, who's going to beat him? And then they got Ohtani pitching tonight. Well, how are they going to beat him? And then they got Yamamoto pitching tonight. I mean, who's going to beat him? And Yamamoto, pitcher for the Dodgers, end up being the MVP of the World Series, rightfully so. Okay. Well, and then here's something that the fans may or may not know, the listeners, and you guys chime in. This is the first time in 25 years that a team repeated in the World Series. Yeah. But the interesting thing about that 25 years was that team that repeated was the New York Yankees. They actually three-peated it in that 25 years. So they won it. It was 25 years. Then I'm gonna mess this up. I guess 26 years ago they won it. 27 years ago they won it. So they won it 3 times in a row 25 years ago, and this is the first time it's been done since then.
It's hard to do, and I've got and for me, I love watching the Dodgers, especially the last few years. One, because I've got a couple of personal connections to that club with guys that I used to play with, years and years ago. Billy Gasparino was a guy who was the Dodgers' current vice president of baseball operations. He was a great player back in college, and just a very sharp baseball mind. And previously, he was their vice president of their amateur scouting. He was their top scout. So, and then an ex-coach of mine is now the manager in the AAA club in Oklahoma City. So, you love to see guys that you have connections with like that do well year in and year out. But I could not be more proud of and happy to see the Dodgers win for the sake of Clayton Kershaw.
Oh, 100%.
JP, I got to answer this question.
Yeah.
I think I know the answer, but I want to hear it from you. I'm a fan. I never played baseball, right? Except in the streets, right? But I'm gonna tell you what's going through my mind as I'm sitting on my bed, on my couch, eating my popcorn, while the guys are out there in the middle of the trenches playing. Bases loaded. There's a full count, and I'm screaming at the pitcher, just strike him out. Come on, man. What the heck are you doing? How hard can it be? Yeah. What are the emotions from a pitcher when you're at that situation? Bases loaded, full count. It's all on you, man.
The pressure is intense in games like that. I will say that, but those guys in those situations that have been there, done that so many times. I would venture to guess that 80% of them. I put Clayton Kershaw in this category, and Blake Snell, Ohtani, many of those guys is that. As big as the situation is, it's they're hearing nothing in their ears.
Wow,
they don't hear the fans. They just go into a different headspace, and that's why they're great.
So what happens? So what are the emotions like when you go up there and you're pitching, you're not doing so well, and all of a sudden, in your mind you feel like you got it, but you done gave up a couple of runs. Now that manager's coming out and he's talking to you, and he's basically telling you, I don't know what they say, I don't know what their conversation like, but from my perspective, they go out there, they talk to the guy, they come up, they have a little meeting, then everybody walk away, and they leave that guy on the mound. And from my mind, I'm like, okay, he got 1 more 2 times to mess up, and he's out of there. It's like, what is that now going in? Like, I can't screw this up. I'm out of this game.
Yeah, when you're in those situations and you're not performing where you would like to, and the manager's making a trip out early in the game, midway through the game, you know probably 4 or 5 hitters before he's gonna show up. Early on whether you've got good stuff or whether you don't. Of course, competitors never want to come out of the game, so they get frustrated when they see the manager or the pitching coach come out to make a visit. Sometimes it's great. Sometimes it can, whatever breather you might need as a pitcher to try to slow things down and get back rolling again. But early on, I would say the first 2 or 3, 4 hitters of a game if you've got your stuff. So at least I did. I always knew that I'm gonna get through this. I'm gonna go good 6, 7 innings, or I'm gonna have a short leash tonight.
I like it. All right, as we transition, you got more.
Just real quick. So I love that EC's a big fan of sports. I mean, it can be women's boxing. I mean, he's going to be into it. I mean, I love that about him. Okay, so again, I want to also say, JP, kudos to Clayton Kershaw, the pride of Highland Park High School, for. Did he play his whole career with the Dodgers?
I think 18 years. I think is what he spent with the Dodgers.
Clayton's a great family man, a good husband, good dad, a good Christian man, and I'm so proud that he can represent the DFW area in a way that he did. But hey, it was a good series. Congratulations to the Los Angeles Dodgers. Congratulations to the Toronto Blue Jays for a phenomenal season. Okay. And so, it was good stuff. So EC, thanks. So go ahead, whatever you want to transition.
Yes, sir. Hey, we're going into college football right now because, I cannot let JP sit here with this OU sweatshirt on and not go ahead and talk about what we saw on Saturday, man. Well, go on, JP, break it down for us.
Wish that I was on old Rocky Top. Go ahead.
I heard that about 500,000 times, I think, on
JP, I got a question for you. Where were you and your beautiful wife Saturday night? What were y'all doing? Bring us up to speed, brother.
We were in the confines of Neyland Stadium, University of Tennessee, in Knoxville for.
Was y'all safe? Because y'all in enemy territory. I'm glad y'all made it back okay.
Well, and I tell you what, that's one of the things that for my first trip to Neyland Stadium, we actually went with some good friends of ours that about 4 or 5 years ago. They're University of Texas fans, but they're college football fans.
Yeah.
And so they started 4 or 5 years ago just finding games every year, big games, whether it's SEC, Big Ten, what have you, finding big games in stadiums that are bucket list type stadiums. So, they started with LSU, Alabama, I think in 2021, been to South Bend, Notre Dame, Michigan. A few weeks ago, prior to this past weekend, they went down to Gainesville for Florida, Texas. So they booked Neyland Stadium, a night game around Halloween. They happened to be playing Oklahoma, and I'm probably the only OU fan here in DFW that they're familiar with or care to travel with, and so that's why we got the invite. We certainly appreciated it.
Yeah.
But I tell you what, man, and you talk about being in confines and being away from home, but I don't think there's been a stadium or an environment that I've been to that is any better in terms of how nice the fans were.
That's what's up.
From the moment from the moment we got off the plane in Knoxville to literally the moment that we got back on the plane last night coming home, I can't tell you how many fans, Tennessee fans, stopped us and said, "Hey, welcome to Knoxville, welcome to Neyland Stadium. We hope you have a good time." There were several of them that went to Norman last year when they hosted Tennessee, and their fans said, your fans were great. That kind of surprised me a little bit. I've been to many of an OU game that we weren't so nice to a lot of people.
Yeah, Boober Sooner.
Yeah, so the energy. It was a blackout game, so all the Tennessee fans were wearing black. Their team was wearing black, which I guess is what they do around Halloween on the home games that they have. They'll do blackouts, and I
said that's the reason why they lost too. But
could have been that. It could have been that. It could have been that. It could have been that OU kicker wearing his Daisy Dukes that was just burying 50-yard field goals.
Oh Lord.
But great energy. I don't know if I've been to a louder stadium than that. a light show that they had about 15, 20 minutes before kickoff to when the University of Tennessee comes out and takes the field. Class A experience all the way around. I would absolutely recommend it if you're a football fan and you've never been to Neyland Stadium for a night game.
All right, then. So I got a couple of questions real quick. One, your quarterback, John Mateer. Early on in the season, he was considered one of the front runners for the Heisman Trophy.
Right.
Get the injury, the loss to Texas, didn't have a great game against Tennessee. Like, what do you see out of this guy? He's been in the league for a minute. So when is in college?
Yeah, I think he brings a lot of energy to their offense. I think they're visibly better, at least from my perspective in watching them. Now, Saturday at Tennessee, their offense wasn't great. In fact, I think it was fairly anemic in the first half. Defense and the kicker is the reason why they won that game. And to your point, Mateer, I think he only had something like 150 or 160 yards passing. And but he's one of those guys that he's fun to watch. I think he keeps you in the game. Their defense this year certainly helps, but I think like a guy like John Mateer certainly helps from an offensive perspective. You hate to see somebody like that when he's supposedly a Heisman front runner at the time go out and get injured, and it kind of ruins that. But if I'm biased and I am and selfish and I am a little bit, I wouldn't mind seeing John Mateer come back for another year, which I think is what we'll end up getting. So that makes me excited as an OU fan.
Now, obviously being an OU fan, for quite some time. So you watch a transition going into the SEC, coming out of the Big 12 and other conferences, right? So I'm gonna say this respectfully, right? But when you at the start of the season, not only they had John Mateer, but I said they had the guy from Texas, Arch Manning, and also had Lenore Sellers from South Carolina Gamecocks. Those were your top runners for the Heisman. This SEC, now, I'm a Big 12 fan. I'm not trolling SEC, but it's like, is it a coincidence that all of a sudden they have three quarterbacks in SEC that are your top three Heisman, and we don't necessarily subscribe to that mentality right now, right? I don't know who's going to be the up running right now. I mean, the other fourth guy was Carson Beck, but that goes completely out the window now. But I don't know who is the front runner for MVP for a Heisman right now.
Yeah, I think you've got the quarterback at Ohio State. Saying, I think is who that is. So, but plenty of talent at the quarterback spot in the SEC. It's just such a dogfight.
I'll take that
week after week. That and it's going to be interesting to watch over the next 3 games or so, because Oklahoma's got a gauntlet of a schedule. Texas has got a gauntlet of a schedule.
Yeah.
And we've got the first college football playoff ranking coming out, I think, here at the top of the hour. So it'll be interesting to see where everybody falls on that perspective. But to one of your comments on what's been interesting to watch and surprising to me, at least from an Oklahoma perspective, in terms of transitioning from the Big 12 into the SEC is, and I think Brent Venables has a lot to do with this, is just that, holy cow, we're playing defense now. I mean, in the Big 12, it was just a track meet. Whoever scored the most, nobody cared about defense. It's just a different league, and thankfully, for me personally, OU is stepping up in that way, and that's what's keeping us in these games right now.
Now that I will say that, because I'm texting OU or I still watch them. They're like the girlfriend that broke up with you, but you still follow them socials and stuff like that. So I still keep an eye on OU, even though I'm a Big 12 fan. But that part, what I haven't talked about, is amazing for both teams, because I knew they had the offensive, power to stand up against them. But I'm like, this is a quick turnaround. Will they be able to boost up their defense? Because, the bigger guys that the other conferences usually get in the defensive core, and, we're known for offensive players and stuff like that. So, but, OU have done a great job defense. I think at one point in time, you guys were leading the NCAA as a top 5 or top 3 defense, and we see what Texas defense can do. So, congratulations to OU getting in there, man. I want to bring up this video because I want to get you guys a hard, honest opinion about my guy. And I love this guy. I really do. But we got to talk about this guy right here. Let's bring him on up.
Mood at the Clemson bench is drastically different than it was about 3 or 4 minutes ago.
Whoa.
And Dabo is fired up.
Wow. I can hear Dabo. I can hear Coach Sweeney all the way up here in the booth right now. He is fired up, and I don't blame him. He's saying to the defense, we can't have that. What are you doing?
They're going to run it with Randall. Clemson.
Whoo, the coach, man. Coach D.
I love it.
Talk about it, man.
Hey, who won that game?
Oh, dude.
Okay. So, man, Dabo.
It didn't work.
Dabo's been feeling the heat. I mean, I love Dabo, but I wouldn't be surprised if that job's open too, because Dabo can get one of these other big name jobs. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if that job's open. I think he's kind of ran the course there. But I kind of want to back up for a minute to something JP said, and that is, guys, the college football season, in my mind, starts this weekend. Okay, because all those teams that are jockeying for position is that Bobby Knight, preach, man, preach. No, man, it's not Jonathan. He didn't throw a chair, bro. So it's not, definitely not. So, but I really do believe that the cream is going to rise to the top these next 3 weeks, and the poop is going to drop to the bottom, and we're going to see who's who and who's what. But I love what all three of you guys said. I mean, both of you guys said, and that is, we're seeing defense played from some really, really good teams. Ohio State's defense is good. I don't think Indiana's defense is that good. A&M's defense is as good as it's been in years. Oklahoma's defense is as good as it's been in years. Texas defense is as good as it's been in years. And I can go on and on and on. But the top teams, the teams that I believe, and I think you guys believe are going to be there 3 or 4 weeks from now, are the teams that can get people off the field, you know? And so I'm glad to hear both of you guys talk about defense, because it's really been good this year.
You know, I mean, yeah, defense but there are some really bad teams in the SEC that we're not allowing to be honest about because they're in the SEC. It's called it what it is, right? And not only SEC, but even other conferences, right? The Big Ten have some not so good teams that are constantly making this top 25 just because, quote unquote, the strength of schedule. And that's my opinion, because there are some other good teams in other conferences that don't necessarily get that shine because they're not in those conferences. And when J-Dub talked about the size of the players and stuff like that, I did a deep dive to the Navy team, right? And checked out their size of their players. And they got some 300-pounders on all levels of their thing. So it's not the size. So I'm still trying to figure out what makes this one team better based on conference than another team, and we never get to see them play, right?
Yeah,
You know, Ohio State is number one, but they've been beating a lot of bottom feeders. So they play one good team right now, but they're number one. So I don't know. Indiana has some good teams. Alabama, I still believe, had the toughest schedule so far this year.
I agree.
They beat a lot of top teams. So, but they made it in the top five, so top four. So I give them that much. But I mean, it is what it is. But coaching, I love Dabo Sweeney, and I love the energy that coaches put out there. And we all, from our age group, we all love it, because that's what we got when we was coming up from our coaches, right? We on the sideline, digging in your booties, man. I mean, but this is 2025. Cameras, we didn't have social media. We didn't have people recording the sideline, right? Yeah. And this is one thing I believe Dabo needs to understand, because these kids are feeling it. They know in their mind, like, man, this is going viral. Now, that means he's either unaware or he's unhinged, right? The message got to get sent, but you're 28 seconds left from halftime. Why not wait?
Yeah,
I don't know.
Man, you make a good point. You make a valid point, and I could wait I mean, I'd like to think I could wait 28 seconds and then go in there behind closed doors, behind cameras, and chew some tail out, and get some people's attention. JP, what do you think?
I'm glad that you showed that clip, and I didn't see that live. I didn't see that until this morning, actually. But again, to a normal fan who sees that, and they may be thinking, oh my God, these are kids out there. Why is that man speaking to these guys that way? And as somebody who has been on the receiving end of multiple of those type of conversations or screaming and yelling that you just saw from Dabo, I can tell you that I probably respect my coaches who did that far more than the ones that didn't. They made me a better person, made me a better player, made me a better competitor.
Yeah.
And I think people just have to understand the emotion that goes into these livelihoods. I mean, these 18 to 21-year-old kids are the livelihoods of these coaches, and the things that they do, the way that they act. So to me, it's a coaching opportunity. I don't mind, the animosity that Dabo showed, and I wouldn't mind a lot of things that I know he said that I couldn't hear that he was saying.
Agree.
But it's just part of it, and I appreciate what you're saying about your 28 seconds from halftime, and maybe wait till then. But Dabo is Dabo, and there's others like Saban and many of the other greats that have been in that sport that I think would probably do the same thing.
And E, I want to comment on it too, if I can, man.
Go ahead.
I support Dabo Swinney, what he did, 1,000%. Okay, I love the passion. I love that he's trying to get their attention. I do wish he would have waited till they went in the locker room, obviously, but I have no problem with coaching that way. I have no problem with coaching 18, 19, 20-year-old kids that way. As long as you don't put your hands on them, that's where I draw the line. And he doesn't, and he didn't. But no, that's part of the game. Football is a violent game. Football is a crazy, high-energy, smash-mouth game. People need to stop being so puckish. It's called coaching. Yes, sir. Yes, sir, it is, Deshaun. Yes, it is.
I get it, but is it unprofessional?
No, it's not unprofessional. It is not unprofessional. If you get in a kid's face, you don't put your hands on them to get their attention. That's part of it. And I love what JP said about he respects the coaches that did that to him. I respect the coaches that did that to me.
Now check this out. So Cam Newton a few weeks ago on his 4th and 1 podcast, he actually brought up Dabo Swinney, and he had a lot to say, and he really broke down Dabo Swinney. And the one thing that stood out the most that really, really resonated with me and kind of maybe bring this in perspective, he said that Dabo Swinney went out there and he set a precedent on what the Clemson Tigers are going to be. He let the whole world know this is who we are. This is the type of program we're going to run. And now we're not seeing that same level of play and coaching from him. The question was asked, is it him or is it the players that's costing him his legacy, right? And so, and the one thing they talked about is like, yeah, obviously the players got to play it and they're going to buy into what Dabo is doing because he's a great coach. Mm-hmm. But now in this transfer portal age, all the teams are getting in transport, and Dabo Swinney is so adamant about developing his own talent, getting them recruits out of high school, developing them the hard way, the long way. You don't need to go in and steal from somebody else a kettle. However, this is where it's going right now, JP. Do he need to get with a program? Because we look at it right now, all these other big teams got 10+ players in the transporter. He's got 3 this year, and it's not working.
I remember when this whole NIL and transfer portal craziness became bigger than what it is. And I remember Dabo saying, I'm not going to waver. That's not my strategy. That's not who we are. We think we have the best players at Clemson, or can get the best players at Clemson anyway.
You're right.
But in many cases, I do agree with that. However, I think if he doesn't adjust and do what everybody else is doing, he's probably going to continue to see what we're seeing right now. And I mean, we could probably have our own show on NIL and transfer portal and good or bad in terms of what it's doing for the game. But look at guys like Mike Gundy and Stillwater.
Yeah,
when you lost T. Boone Pickens to when he passed away, I mean that's when the Cowboys' demise started, and they could never win a game. And so I think people have to embrace. And again, that's a completely different strategy than this whole Dabo thing. But I as much as I love Dabo and the way he thinks about tradition of the game and those sorts of things, I think that if he is going to continue to be great, at least based on the expectation that he has set himself at Clemson, he's gonna have to embrace this a little bit more than what
Iron said. He said, coming from a coach, it's called building young men, not little boys.
Yes, it is.
And that's what, because that's what you're saying, Coach. Like, those wasn't kids out there. Those wasn't high school. Those guys were 20 plus years old. They got mustache. Some got kids in a bank account. So
That's right.
Some already start building 401ks already. So these are grown men out there. I know they're in college, but they NIL. These guys are rich. So you got to let them know. But then he asked the question. He said, "Who would you rather have, Bill Parcells or Wade Wilson?"
That's a no-brainer.
Well, if you ask LeBron James, he'll take Wade. I'm sorry, that was a troll on LeBron James. I'm sorry for you, LeBron James fan out there, man. Listen, I just want to throw a quick shout out to the SMU Mustangs, man. The Ponies beat the U. This whole Carson bag is supposed to be, taking the place of Cam Ward. It just ain't working over there. Right. I mean, they got a good program, but for a career quarterback, I know that's what this wave is going on. OU did it, getting a career quarterback, and then, of course, obviously, Miami's doing it right. It works well for Oklahoma, but Miami ain't working well. I ain't really necessarily cared about the style of Carson back play, but it is what it is.
Right there with
I don't know what type of recruitment they got to get some of these guys. We know it takes a while to get these, and that's crazy. It used to be where you come in, JP, and you come in as a recruit, and then you're ready to play right away. Now you guys got sent on the bench for a year or two, sometimes 3 years before they even get in, getting redshirted. So that's crazy. That's what makes these guys career quarterbacks, man. With 7, 8 years playing in college, and that's crazy. But I don't know what the U is going to do, man. But congratulations to SMU, man. Season's not so great, but this was a big win. This was a big win for the SMU Mustangs. So I'm proud of that.
And it comes right on the tail of I think they had just given Rhett Lashley a nice extension at SMU, which again, you look around college football and seeing all these big jobs opening up from these coaching icons that James Franklin at Penn State, Kelly at LSU, and again, we could have our own separate show on the coaching carousel and if that's good for the sport, and has this whole NIL and transfer portal even changed the way that's looked at. But to your point, congratulations to SMU. I'm excited that they held on to their coach. Gave him an extension when there's so many opportunities. And I think we're probably going to see. I think we're probably going to see some more of that with so many openings available right now. Some of these schools should absolutely. Tennessee's another one. They should absolutely go extend Josh Heupel. There's a lot of Tennessee fans chirping about whether or not he belongs because they got beat by Oklahoma. But big win for SMU. I didn't get a chance to watch that one live, but I think I saw where they were like 10 or 10.5 point dogs to Miami, and then just to see the result of that was impressive.
It's so crazy because the media, I'm part of the media, and we're part of the media. But I remember last year when Ohio State lost that rival game against Michigan, right? I mean, First Take came unhinged. They talked bad about Coach Day, saying he should lose a job. Out of all the games, you got to win. You got to win that one. Then it started a rift between First Take and Game Day with Kirk Herbstreit and them tripping back and forth for a little while, and that became a hot take. And all Coach Day was go out there and win a national championship. And all he did out there go out and like, okay, we lost this game, but so fans, recognize the talent that you have in your locker room from the head coach job, right? Don't get involved with the media. Don't go out there and start speaking ill because this is what you heard. Let your eyes judge what you see. If you don't know the sport, then you're unqualified to speak on it. I'm going to say it that way, right? But when you come down to telling whether people should get fired or stay on their squad, understand the sport and judge it with your eyes, not what the chirp is out there, because the media got to do the job. Sometimes they got to play the villain, and sometimes you don't know if they're playing the villain or playing the hero. Just judge with your eyes. That's all I have to say about that.
So I got a question for both you guys. I got one name. I got one name I want to talk to both you guys about, okay? We have never mentioned this guy's name. And JP, you need to take all the emotion out of this, and you need to be very objective what my question is fixed to be. We have never mentioned this name on this show. There are some monster jobs that are open in the SEC. Both you gentlemen, could we possibly see one Lincoln Riley get back over this part of the world and coach in the SEC? Both you guys. That's a question for both you guys.
Eric, you want to take that one first?
I mean, that's your guy.
So I
know you probably saw it.
I would love to see Lincoln Riley.
I said no.
Go ahead, JP.
I would love to see Lincoln Riley come to the SEC for personal reasons. Plus, I think he's still, regardless of how I feel about him and how he exited OU and how all that went down.
Okay.
I think he's a great coach. He's a great offensive mind. He would be one that would probably take him 2 or 3 years to come in and figure it out defensively, because he's, at least the teams that he had at Oklahoma, we didn't play defense. And they still don't in USC. But I would love for him to come to the SEC. It's one of the reasons why I think he went out to the Pac-10 was try to stay away from that, because he knew Oklahoma was going to the SEC, and I think he probably thought that he was at his pinnacle at Oklahoma, and he probably thought it was USC was a sell high type of opportunity for him. So I would love for him to come to the SEC, because I think it'd be great for the conference, and I'd love to see Oklahoma just whip up on him a little bit.
He need to go to college. He need to go to
keep the emotion out of it. You didn't.
He need to go to take Jay Norrell's place at Colorado State.
There you
go. Oh gosh, that's a yeah.
So as we go ahead and transition into the shot clock, we're going to run the shot clock and talking about these during Cowboys, because that's what they want to hear and see. Before we get into the Cowboys, man, I got to show some love, because obviously the Cowboys are not a good team. Let's go ahead and we can all accept that and accept it for what it is. They're not a good team. And we're going to talk about it, but they're not a good team. So it is what it is. But without looking at just the rankings, who you think are the top teams in the NFL right now from each of you guys? Let's start with JP, the top teams in the NFL.
Oh, gosh. So AFC, I would say I still think Kansas City.
I like that.
I think they're suspect. I mean, they obviously they're suspect at times, but I think they're just good when they have to be good.
Okay.
And on the, not that you're asking me to make a Super Bowl prediction or whatever, but on the NFC side, I think it's probably going to be somebody to come out of the North, and I think that I think Detroit is actually going to right the ship. And and I've got confidence in that head coach up there, and so that's what I'm thinking.
I like it. D-Way, what you got? He got Kansas City, Detroit. He believes they're top two. Like I said, we're not talking about Super Bowl, but just who you think are the top teams right now?
AFC. I'm a fan of the Colts, but I don't think they're the real deal.
Okay.
I still like Kansas City and Buffalo at the end of the day.
Yeah.
I still like Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes at the end of the day. So I'm going to stay right there on the AFC. NFC. I can't believe JP didn't say the Philadelphia Eagles. The Eagles are going to turn up. They're going to turn the dial. They're going to turn the volume up a little bit when they need to, just like he said about the Chiefs.
Yeah.
And let me just make it clear, I can't stand the Eagles. And then that other conference, mean, the Lions, the Packers.
Okay.
I mean, so and Deshaun, I can see a Buffalo Eagle thing. I can see a repeat of KC in the Philadelphia Eagles. I just don't know who's good enough in the NFC to keep the Eagles out of it. I just don't know who it is.
Well, if you don't know, let me help you. Let me help you.
I know who it's not, but go ahead.
The Los Angeles Rams are good enough to be.
Man, they're having a good year.
Man, that whole division, I mean, definitely, like JP said, the North is on something, right? It's going to be a battle of the North with those teams on it because they finally got Chicago to play some football.
Yeah.
But the West, man, I mean, the Seahawks, the Rams, and the 49ers, you know what I'm saying? The Arizona Cardinals just beat up on the Cowboys. We're going to talk about that in a minute with a backup quarterback who he did so good, they're going to let him play again this week. That's crazy. But, I mean, those – Seattle, he's kind of the Seattle Seahawks are like the Indianapolis Colts to me. I like what they're doing. I like where they're positioning themselves there, but I'm not really believing them 100% to think they can really take it. But I wouldn't be surprised. But the Rams, man, I think they will destroy the Eagles. You know what I'm saying? He said, I would say don't sleep on Chicago.
I love it, dude. I love it. I love the Rams. So I love that team.
But right now I'm with Iron. Now I love the Kansas City Chiefs, but man, the Chargers in that division, man, is going to be hard to beat. You know, I think they're really doing their thing right now. That don't mean Kansas City can't catch lightning in the bottle and just go ahead and just go on off, right? This was a hard loss for them, but it was a good loss against a very, very good team, right? We know what happens in the playoff. The Bills beat them all the time in regular season, but they can't seem to get over the hump in the playoffs. So you can't count Kansas City out. But when I judge my own eyes, it's hard for me to just believe that the Buffalo Bills is going to fail in the playoff again this year. They're just clicking, man. They own one this year. So I mean,
what's your take on Baltimore now that Jackson's back and
trash?
So you think? I mean, they obviously had five losses to it, right?
Trash.
Do they have a chance?
Trash.
JP, so let me tell you, my preseason Super Bowl pick was the Ravens and the Eagles.
Facts, Ira.
Isn't that right, EC? And
yeah.
I apologize to all of Cowboy Nation, all of the organization. I put the hex and the jinx on them when I said in preseason that the Cowboys would be lucky to win 8 games. Okay? And Eric, you know that's exactly what I said. So, and I feel bad that I put the jinx on them. So
now the crazy part about the Baltimore, and this is what I don't think is good for football, right? Because there are other teams who play hard and deserve to be. They may not be the known and sexiest team like the Baltimore Ravens, but because they're in such a bad division, they may squeak out a wild card spot or take the whole North on the AFC North. Because you're talking about, I mean, the Bengals not going to get any better. The Browns not going to get any better, right? Pittsburgh is that team that usually finish around mediocre just to have not to have a winning season, but not make the playoffs. So that door is still open very much for Baltimore to even get in, you know what I'm saying, outside of a wild card spot because they can win their division. But I don't like that. I just think, man, because I hate to see teams that are like 10 and or what's that like 10-6 or 10-7 get in a wild card position while a team that's like 9-8 squarely squeaks in because they won their division. I don't like that. I think it has to be by the record. But y'all know this is the time of year halfway through the season where Baltimore typically starts having their issues.
Right? 100%.
Now,
100%.
Yeah, they beat a bad Miami team. That expected to happen, right? But their schedule.
How is McDaniel keeping his job? I predicted him to get fired this week 8 weeks ago. He's making me look bad. How is he keeping his job?
Well, I mean, because him and Stephen Ross got a heck of a relationship. So Stephen Ross is not going to fire that young man in the middle of the season, which I respect that. If you want to got that guy, you're not going to put him on embarrassment. But, he's the scapegoat. He's the guy that's going to chop and block. But if your owner believes you that much where he's not going to embarrass you in the middle of the season, I can't do no but respect that out of what Stephen Ross is doing with Mike McDaniel. But he may not be back next year.
Okay, who's your 2 teams in the Super Bowl right now?
Oh, Bills and the Rams.
Okay, JP.
Yeah, I'd say I'm still going Kansas City, and I in Detroit I trust right now in the North.
Okay. I'm going to go with my original pick 9 weeks ago, the Ravens and the Eagles.
Wow.
All right. I like it. You still going with them? Hey, let's watch this clip real quick from my boy Marcus Spears. They was here Monday morning for First Take. That was at Texas Live, getting ready for Monday Night Football, and this is what he said before he watched these Cowboys play.
You know, sometimes we get sideways. Y'all get mad at me when I'm talking about Dallas, right? And it's because I'm always optimistic, and it means a lot to me. Y'all know how much it means to Irv, obviously, being a 3-time Super Bowl champion. But here's the deal. Let me tell y'all why I'm always so pissed off. Because when I look at Philly, and I look at Howie Roseman, and I look at the moves that he's made over the last 5 to 7 years with the Eagles, I don't see anything we do that resembles that. The time now is to fix that. The time now for Jerry, the time now for Steven, the time now for this organization to fix our woes is to be more aggressive about getting proven football players and stop just depending on the draft. So let me say this to y'all right now. In the year 2027, because it's going to take us a year, we will hoist a Lombardi trophy. 2027. If we do it next year, we're going to be a year ahead. But in 2027, something is going to permeate. Michael Irvin, come stand up here.
I'm with you.
This is the man that has the ear of Jerry Jones.
Right.
And I am going to challenge him right now.
Yeah.
Mike, he got to go be aggressive in free agency. He got to make some trades for some really good players and supplement what we already have that's good.
Right.
Wow. I already said I approve this message by Marcus Spears. I'm just going to jump out there. Good job, Marcus Spears, but Captain Obvious. We've been saying it for, I know, sometimes, we've been saying it for the last couple of years about how Jerry Jones has managed this team, right? We've been saying it. It's not a new message, right? And being right across the street from the Cowboys Stadium, right, is not going to make it that more clear in Jerry Jones' ear. He's already had to sit down with Michael Irvin. He's already had to sit down with Stephen A. Smith. I don't know if Marcus Spears got that type of leverage to go sit down with him, but Jerry ain't listening to nobody. And this idea that 2027, I ain't buying it. I ain't buying it. Exactly, will break their ways. Exactly. I mean, thank you, Lou. You said the exact same thing. But D-Way, what do you think about Marcus Spears' prediction?
Do you know what the temporary? You know what the definition of insanity is? We all three do, okay?
Same old same.
Doing the same old thing and expecting different results. I'm sorry to say it. I grew up a Cowboy fan. I'll always be a diehard Cowboy fan. I got Bob Lilly and Roger Staubach and Tony Dorsett's jerseys, all the greats back in my closet. The Cowboys will not ever win another Super Bowl as long as Jerry Jones has his fingers on it. Okay? So I'm sorry.
What you got, JP?
Yeah, I don't disagree with Coach on that. I think to Marcus Spears' prediction of 2027, that's pretty aggressive. Especially to somebody made a point on the dollar sports spending of the front office, and they're absolutely right.
That was Lou.
I thought that before they even hired Schottenheimer as the head coach, and I was scratching my head a little bit when they made that hire. Now, if you listen to people talk that have been around the NFL for years and years, they have a lot of respect for Schottenheimer, and especially from an offensive mindset standpoint. But that was a questionable hire for me. And then the Quinlan Williams pickup was better, but the one before that, where we go trade for a linebacker from Cincinnati who's not starting for that club, and it's a worse defense than what we've putting on the field. It's like, right. What are we doing?
I was about to get to that Quentin Williams trade, but I'm glad that was a good segue into.
So I was talking to my brother-in-law last night, who's a big Cowboy fan. during the game, and he hit the nail on the head. Defensively, and y'all tell me if I'm wrong, Cowboys have no players. They have no players. We got some guys that can be and will be, but right now we have no dominant players on defense. What do you think, EC?
No, we don't. I mean, you if you go out there, like I said, without emotion, with your eye test, watch it. Like, just watch the defense and how, like last night, they couldn't tackle. It wasn't. It's almost like and I can tell lack of effort versus no skill set. Right? We've seen sometimes top players get out there and they're just tired and they take times off. We've seen how Chris Jones went viral when the Chiefs game lost. Right. And they trolled him, but he showed up the next game. These guys just don't know how to tackle.
Yeah.
They don't know what they're doing out there. And I say that respectfully because they're pro guys. They can do it better than me, but they just don't know how to do it at a high level. And this was the problem.
I posted on my Facebook page last night that I've seen better tackling out of a 7th grade B team. Okay.
Right.
I don't
It's a
think
joke.
somebody made a comment about Eberflus and
Right.
being surprised that he still has the job, and I agree. I don't think Eberflus makes it beyond the bye week.
Yeah.
I'd be surprised if he does.
Somebody said that was me, JP, when you and I were talking.
Yeah,
I was the one that said that.
Yeah.
How does he make it through this week?
Right. I don't know. The Patriots was neither paying either. You need a real coach for the. Explain that on me. I think what he's talking about, D-Way, is the Patriots that Tom Brady had. They wasn't really paying players, but yet they was winning Super Bowls. But that's apples and oranges compared to this team over here. I don't know. But finish your point, D-Way.
What's the Cowboys? Are they 3-5-1? Okay, so they're 9 weeks in, guys, and it's the exact same as it was in week 1. And this guy's going to keep his job? Are you freaking kidding me with this? Explain this to me, Lucy. Explain it to me, Lucy.
Yeah. He shouldn't keep his job. But JP hit the nail in the coffin. Why hire this guy in the first place? Right? Jonathan G always talked about getting coaches. He trolled Jason Garrett. He trolled Mike McCartney, right? And now you get Eberflus, and now it's like we all said we don't know who this guy is. We never know. We don't know what his resume is because he didn't have one. And now the Cowboy fans, which I'm a part of that club loosely, but you come out, you start the season, Dak is hot. Now we're starting to give a little grace. But I'm the one to sit back and cut like, I ain't sold on it because what we're seeing, the offense is doing their thing, but remember, you the head coach. You may not be the offensive coordinator, defense coordinator, but you have a say-so. And if you don't have a say-so, if you don't have a pick, then you're really not a coach. I'm not saying that he's not a good coach, but if you don't have a say-so and how to build your coaching staff and get the people there that you know that can do a good job, then what are we doing? You're not a head coach. You don't have control over the organization as you should. So if this was a Jerry Jones pick by getting Matt Eberflus, then what the heck is Schottenheimer doing? Can he fire Matt Eberflus? And I already made that point. He said that's all his problem with Shotty is that he got Eberflus, but he didn't hire Eberflus. He ain't up to him. So this whole system is broke. what they said off of that law-abiding citizen with Gerard Button, thing here, this whole system is broke.
I didn't know much about Eberflus until my father-in-law is from Chicago and a huge Bears fan, of course, and so just to listen to the misery from him week in and week out when he was the head coach of the Bears, and then all of a sudden, we go make a stupid hire.
No, we've had 2 coaches that I think that were actually coaches since Tom Landry, Jimmy Johnson, and we saw what he did. Bill Parcells was very competitive. We saw what he did here in Dallas. But other than that, we've had nobody. And I don't understand. It's just so frustrating. I'm a Cowboys fan. I'll always be a Cowboys fan, but it's not easy to watch anymore, man. It's not fun to watch.
So those who are watching, first of all, we appreciate you for watching. If you made it this far, please like, subscribe, share, and most of all, leave comments and join this conversation. But let me say why we're the FairWeather Fan, right? Because people like you who may be a Cowboys fan, but right now you're not enjoying football because your team is not really putting a good product out there.
Mm-hmm.
That's why you can always find a game to watch and see it done the right way. I'm not suggesting that you jump the bandwagon. That's not what the FairWeather Fan is. But the FairWeather Fan is just this. We love sports, and we're going to fan out every team. We're going to watch the team to do it right. Yeah, we're going to still love the team that we love, right? But we're not going to just give up on the sport that we love because our team is not in it, right?
Right.
I get it. That may be the only team you know, but if your team is letting you down, please turn on the next channel and watch a team that does it right. And I can give you a few picks, right? If you don't like the Cowboys, watch another team that has on blue. So if you want to watch a team in blue, watch the New England Patriots, right? They got.
It would be one thing if we were playing against Patrick Mahomes or Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson, but we're getting beat by Russell Wilson and Caleb Williamson and Jacoby Brissett. He's even still in the league.
Yeah.
And these no-name guys that are second and third stringers that. I mean, it's a joke. It's a joke. It's sad when you look more forward to watching soccer than watching the Cowboys.
And that's the South of Cliff Golden Bears, man. Yeah, what up, Coach Todd? Yeah, so that was that's because that's what you have to root for in the Metroplex. You got our high school team, you got our pro team, and right now the high school team has been winning championships, and getting there the last 3 years. So. And then you got the Cowboys who's been letting us down since the 90s. And so that's kind of what it is, And same way with the Raiders. The Raiders don't have a good organization, but yet, they got their WNBA team just won all these championships. So think about that whole city is tied behind a women's pro league, let alone a third football team, an NFL football team. But that's what happens, right? That is what it is. But, hey, listen, y'all, FairWeather Fan, those who watching, listen, let me tell you something straight up. Out of respect to those of you who love the Dallas Cowboys, we'll continue to talk about them, but I'm telling you right now, this is the last time I build up the airwaves with the Dallas Cowboys. There's so much more that's going on in the NFL that you're not looking at, right? We got to introduce you to these other teams, right, and what you're getting into. So starting next week, right, we're going to always mention the Cowboys. We probably mention Cowboys first, but, man, I want to introduce you to the rest of these other teams that's doing their thing out there. The New England Patriots are killing. The Buffalo Bills are killing. We still got to look and see what's going on with Seattle and Indianapolis. Can they contain this momentum, right? I mean, so let's just fan out of football, right? But we respectfully will talk about the Cowboys. Deshaun is saying LA needs hold on. The LA need that WNBA team. As long as they have LaFraud, they're going to be miserable. They got a WNBA team, the Sparks. Oh, he probably didn't know. They do have a WNBA team.
They got our girl Kelsey Plum out there doing her thing.
Doing her thizzle. Wait till they get the whole team healthy starting on that. Don't let me fan out of a WNBA right now. But JP, we've come to the end of the show. You got any final thoughts for the people out there?
Boomer Sooner.
Sooner. I love it.
It's a good weekend. Good weekend coming back from that. We've got a little bit of a rest, and then, like I said, Alabama coming up. So I don't know how much longer we'll be able to say Boomer Sooner on Tuesdays and feel good about it, but we'll see what happens.
Is though you play Alabama this weekend?
They got a bye week this
so
weekend, and then they've got Alabama followed by Missouri.
Wow.
And then LSU.
Wow. So my Fighting Texas Aggies are at Missouri this Saturday, and then they come back home and they got the Gamecocks from South Carolina. And then on Thanksgiving Day, they go to Austin to play Arch Manning and company. So it's going to be interesting. I mean, Eric always asks me, what do I think about my Aggies, where they're at and everything. I'm just holding my breath, man. I'm just holding my breath. I'm hoping that we can finish 2-1 these last three. Actually, we have a no-name game too. So if we can finish 3-1 these last four, that'll be a big win for us. So
for sure.
So Aaron believes in OU beating on Alabama.
I hope. That game's in Tuscaloosa, and then the last two are in Norman. So, but we've had some pretty good success the last 5-6 years against Alabama. So typically on a neutral field, but we'll see what happens.
Okay, how about you, EC?
Final thoughts, man. Listen, the WNBA has extended their contract beyond the October 31st date, trying to figure out and trying to make sure everybody get all their paperwork in and all their thoughts across when it comes down to this collective bargaining. All that being said is that more than likely there will be a shutout. There will be a protest, a shutout. So, they don't get to play until middle of summer, but right now the unrivaled league is what's really, really challenging right now, because right now these girls can be making all their money. The WNBA feels like they're their competition, which they are, but they're paying these players a whole lot more to play for a couple of months than what they're going to do over there in the summertime. So the players are not budging. They're not budging. They want everything they need to get, and that's what it is. And so WNBA, trying to be slick, trying to extend it. You're doing it for these girls' minds are made up. You didn't extend it for them. You extend it for yourself. Minds are made up. Just pay them what they're worth, man. Y'all make so much money with these last few years with Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese coming into the league. Everything's went up, and all they're asking just for a little bit more. And if Nafisa Collins can go raise money with her friend group to raise $25 million to pay these women $250 a year, $250,000 a year, you guys can do the same. You got all these billionaires out there that own these franchises. You tell me you guys can invest in $50 million for a season each year? Yeah. It makes no sense to me. The money's out there. But anyway, that's all I have, man. This your boy EC22 along with JP and Coach D-Wade. This has been the FairWeather Fan Podcast. Like always, once again, before we sign off, like, subscribe. Please hit the subscribe button while you're on. If you ain't subscribed, hit it right now. It ain't gonna cost you nothing. Just make a little prick in your finger, but it's real easy. Just hit it. Boom. You know what I'm saying? Share this content. I know you guys are liking the content, man, but please share it to your page. Let all our friends know, especially those who know me personally, who I went to school with, longtime friends, man. Let all our friends know that I know. Share it to your social media page, man. Let them see the content we're throwing out there, man. I appreciate the love of sport. But once again, just because we're off the air, that don't mean you can't jump in the comment section, man. I'll still respond. Get into the comments, man. Join the conversation. But for right now, until next Tuesday at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time, hey, this your boy EC22, Coach D-Wade, JP. We're signing off. We are out. Boom.